You're listening to audio from round 4 of the Kickoff Western Supersite. This game features Barrington from Illinois and Auburn also from Illinois. Auburn enters at 3-0, Barrington enters at 2-1. Without further ado, we're going to go around and have teams introduce themselves and do a quick buzzer check to make sure technology is not dying on us again.
Hi, I'm Michael, and my favorite book is Finnegan's Wake.
Hi, I'm Colin, and my favorite book is Finnegan's Wake.
Hi, I'm Rohan. My favorite book is Finnegan's Wake.
Hi, I'm Kaushik, and my favorite book is Finnegan's Wake.
Auburn.
Hi, I'm Alex. My favorite book is not Finnegan's Wake.
I'm Kobe, and I hate Finnegan's Wake.
I'm Juan, and I find Finnegan's Wake to be worse than other books.
I'm Sinesio, and Finnegan Wake sucks.
All right. Toss up one. This thinker wrote, "In fashioning myself, I fashion men to illustrate man's impact on humanity as a whole in an essay based on a lecture given at the Club Maintenant. This author used the examples of a woman choosing to ignore the implications of her date's compliments and a waiter whose movements are too waiter." Alex.
Sartre.
Power. Bonus 1 to Auburn. One film by this director ends with the scene of a car being dragged out of a swamp after an off-screen voice states, "Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly." For 10 points each, name this director who created the Bates Motel for that film.
Our answer is Hitchcock.
Bernard Herrmann composed the soundtrack to this Hitchcock film, which includes screeching strings. In this film, Marion is stabbed to death in the shower at Bates Motel.
Our answer is Psycho.
Psycho includes a scene in which Hershey's chocolate syrup is used to imitate this substance. Ketchup can be used to terribly imitate this red substance that is often seen in gore movies.
Our answer is Blood.
You get 30. Toss up 2. A technique which utilizes this part of the electromagnetic spectrum only produces results if there is a change in the molecular dipole moment. Kaushik?
Infrared.
Power.
Nice.
Bonus 2. Barrington. This country's Conservative Party went into crisis in July of 2022 for 10 points each. Name this country whose Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, resigned after suffering a record 62 cabinet resignations within the span of 2 days.
UK.
This current Prime Minister was on a plane to Indonesia during the onset of the British government crisis. This former Foreign Secretary was criticized in 2016 for her opposition to Brexit, though she later supported it.
Truss.
Truss defeated this man to become leader of the Conservative Party. This former Chancellor of the Exchequer was among the first in Johnson's cabinet to resign as the result of the Chris Pincher scandal.
Rishi Sunak.
30.
Good.
Toss up 3. In a poem by this author, the speaker describes the strange taste of bile, of mint, and of basil, and repeats the refrain, "Green, how I want you green." Vanessio.
Lorca.
Power. Bonus 3 to Auburn. In the center of a painting set in this place, a woman holds up an orange fruit for 10 points each. Name the setting of a painting whose left sees a blue idol with outward-facing hands. In another painting set here, Spirit of the Dead watching, a nude girl lies on a bed while an older woman faces towards her.
Our answer is Tahiti.
This French post-impressionist was inspired by his move to Tahiti to create works such as Where Do We Come From? What Are We? Where Are We Going? This painter also depicted... Say again?
Our answer is Gauguin.
Before staying in Tahiti, its magical place, Gauguin stayed with this artist in the Yellow House, where they painted together until this artist threatened Gauguin with a razor. This artist of the Starry Night then used that razor to cut his ear off.
Our answer is Van Gogh.
30. Toss up 4. A low yield of this commodity led to the passage of the Two-Penny Act, whose veto by Anglican ministers led to a dispute called the Parsons Cause. James I wrote a counterblast against this commodity, whose trade to the... Juan?
Tobacco.
Power. Bonus 4 to Auburn. One disorder associated with this phenomenon may be caused by a disruption during its deep non-REM form. For 10 points each, name this phenomenon that is inhibited in insomnia.
Our answer is sleep.
Sleep is stimulated by the secretion of this hormone from the pineal gland, which is also used to treat insomnia.
Our answer is melatonin.
Melatonin and DHEA are released during the state of sleep named for this letter. Brain waves named for this letter are the slowest and have the highest amplitude.
Delta is slowest.
It's
I think Delta is slower. Delta direct.
30.
Nice.
Oh, it's okay.
Delta's the back one.
Toss up 5. This man compared himself to Quasimodo after buying a horse for a former partner of Tasia von Rhee. This person appeared to chuckle after a doorman described investigating a possible intruder while vaping at one event. 2 dogs were blamed for the presence of human feces in the bed of this person. When questioned by
Amber Heard.
Neg 5. When questioned by Ben Rottenborn, Alex,
Johnny Depp.
10.
Yeah, it was like.
Bonus 5.
Wow.
Most of Benedetto. Sorry. Yes, your buzzer works. All right, this is bonus 5 to Auburn. Most of Benedetto Cotrugli's manuscripts about trade were published while he was a diplomat of this kingdom for 10 points each. Name this kingdom that was separated from an island to its south in the War of the Sicilian Vespers. This kingdom names a present-day Italian city on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius.
Genoa?
Milan, Genoa, and Naples.
Okay, our answer is Naples.
Cotrugli's work Della Mercatura y del Mercante Perfetto likely contains the first descriptions of the double entry type of this practice. This practice generally involves the tracking of financial transactions.
Our answer is bookkeeping.
Cotrugli was from the Republic of Ragusa, a maritime republic located within this Croatian region. The Roman Emperor Diocletian commissioned a palace in this coastal region's city of Split.
Dalmatia.
Our answer is Dalmatia.
30.
Good work.
Toss up 6. He wasn't Italian, but this leader's country was sent a homeless person dressed up as a British officer in Operation Mincemeat. This leader sent the Blue Division to fight on the Eastern Front. This leader probably orchestrated Emilio Rohan K.
Franco.
Power.
Good
Nice.
boys.
Bonus 6. Barrington, one type of this poetic form is divided into an octave and sestet for 10 points each. Name this poetic form that consists of 14 lines, one of which is Shakespeare's "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?"
Sonnet.
Another form of sonnet is named for this Italian poet who wrote many to Laura in his collection Il Canzoniere.
Petrarch.
Petrarch also wrote this unfinished epic poem about the heroics of Scipio Africanus in the title location.
Is it Africa?
Maybe, I don't know.
I forgot what it's called. Africa.
30.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff.
Toss up 7. A derivative of this molecule is read by YTH domain family proteins. That is its N6 methylated variety. A deaminated metabolite of this molecule, hypoxanthine, is salvaged by the HGRPRT enzyme. This molecule bonded to either flavin or nicotinamide comprises the coenzymes FAD and NAD. A long chain of this molecule is post-transcriptionally attached to the 3' Rohan K.
Like adenine.
Power.
Nice. Good stuff.
I apologize, that was difficult to read. Bonus 7. A drink used for this festival called Kikeon may have gained psychoactive properties due to ergot poisoning for 10 points each. Name this festival, partly named for a town in Attica which celebrated Triptolemus learning agriculture from one of its central goddesses.
Eleusinian mysteries.
The Eleusinian mysteries were initiation rituals to the cults of these 2 goddesses, a mother and daughter pair. The older one of these goddesses caused a universal famine after the younger one ate pomegranate seeds in a foreign realm.
Demeter and Persephone.
The greater mysteries took place in September or October to represent the beginning of the period Persephone had to spend in this realm with her husband, Hades.
The underworld.
Yeah.
30.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Solid.
Toss up 8. A giant one of these animals was the amount of the female Jotun Hirokin when she pushed the funeral ship of Balder into the sea. An object created for one of these animals is created with the sinews of a bear and a woman's beard. Finasio.
Wolf.
Power. Bonus 8. Auburn. The absolute value function has this property everywhere except at x equals 0 for 10 points each. Name this property that is possessed everywhere by smooth functions since they have a tangent line at every point. Functions with this property are continuous, but the opposite is not always true.
Our answer is differentiability.
This person names a function that is continuous everywhere but differentiable nowhere. This mathematician names a convergence theorem with Bernardo Balzano.
Yeah, our answer is Weierstrass.
The concept of continuity can be rigorously defined using these constructs. These constructs are values a function approaches as its input approaches some value, and are denoted by lim.
Our answer is limits.
30. Toss up 9. This author set a series of short stories in the fictional country of Manchuria in his collection, Cabbages and Kings. In one story by this author, a homeless man named Soapy attempts to get Rohan K.
Oh, Henry.
Power.
Sheesh.
Bonus 9, Barrington. This country's horsemen, called Sikos, populate much of its Hortobaj National Park for 10 points each. Name this European country, whose namesake Great Plain, also known as the Alfold, is part of the Pannonian Basin. The forints replaced this country's highly hyperinflated Pengo currency after World War II.
Hungary, right? Hungary?
Hungary's Hortobaj is also home to a 9-arched one of these structures. One of these structures, named for Istvan Széchenyi, connects the historic cities of Buda and Pest by spanning the Danube River.
I guess, yeah.
A bridge.
Sikos also tended to the Raka breed of this animal, known for their spiral horns. These animals outnumber humans in New Zealand by over 5.
No, sheep.
It is. That's 30.
Yes.
Toss up 10. A former quarterback from this team impersonated Buzz Lightyear in a touchdown celebration after teammate Dalton Risner thought his large play calling armband looked like the character's laser. In this team's 2012 playoff victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a recently deceased wide receiver caught a touchdown pass. Rohan K.
Broncos.
Power.
Nice.
Bonus 10, Barrington. And now for something completely different. In 1930, native workers under this company cut telegraph lines and forced their managers to flee into the jungle during a revolt partially sparked by being forced to eat American food. How tragic. For 10 points each. Name this company that established a failed settlement in the state of Pará in the 1920s. Aldous Huxley was likely inspired by that settlement from this company when crafting the dystopian London of Brave New World. Fordlandia was established in this country. Getulio Vargas served as the dictator of this non-European country during its Estado Novo period.
Brazil.
Fordlandia sought to harvest resources for this material that Ford Motors used in many of its operations, including to create the tires for their cars.
Rubber.
30, halftime.
At the half, I have Auburn 220 and Barrington 220.
Nice.
All bonuses are 30, so good job.
All bonuses have been 30?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. How many powers combined?
9.
Was the other one neg? Is that why?
Yeah, the Amber County Depth.
Yeah.
So we 30'd every bonus. We have 2 negs. We have scored 440 out of a possible 450 points. That's what you're saying.
We only have 1 neg.
Yes.
Wait, we only had 1 neg? How are we?
Yeah, Barrington has 1 neg and Auburn has 110. And otherwise,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like 4
Okay.
All right. So yes, one of the I would wager the best half statistically of the year so far. There you go.
440 out of 450 possible.
Good. Now let's do it again. All right. Everybody ready to go, or do you need a break for a minute?
Good.
All right.
You have like 30 seconds.
Yes, you can have 30 seconds. At the half, the score is Auburn 220, Barrington 220, and this is toss of 11. The protagonist of this novel compares the robe of one love interest to a cast-off cicada shell. The title character of this novel is exiled to the town of Suma due to an affair with Kobe.
Taylor Genji.
Power.
You're
Bonus 11 to Auburn. Q switching allows these devices to emit very short pulses for 10 points each. Identify these devices that emit a coherent monochromatic beam of light.
Our answer is lasers.
Lasers were used to create this state of matter by cooling a gas of rubidium atoms to near
Our answer is
absolute
boson
zero.
condensate.
The gain medium of a laser has to be pumped in order to achieve this state in which a majority of the atoms are in an excited state. This state cannot usually be achieved in a 2-level systems.
What is it called? It's. Oh my god! I always forget this. No.
Answer?
Excited inversion direct.
It's called population inversion.
Yeah.
That is 20. Toss up 12. A symphony by this composer was named after a chandelier fell at its premiere. Sinesio.
Item.
Okay, power.
Miracle.
Bonus 12. This ruler's grandmother forced everyone in his empire to agree to his ascension into the throne in the loyalty treaty of Nakia Zakutu for 10 points each. Name this Assyrian emperor who constructed a namesake library in Nineveh.
Our answer is Ashurbanipal.
Ashurbanipal often greeted guests in the room where he had hung the decapitated head of a ruler of this kingdom on the wall. This ancient Iranian kingdom was ruled from Susa.
Susa is the Persia, so just
Agamemnon.
Persia.
Our answer is Persia.
Elam. Prior to destroying Susa brick by brick, Ashurbanipal's armies had besieged this city after his brother tried to revolt. This city was once ruled by Hammurabi.
Our answer is Babylon.
20.
Okay.
Toss up 13. The ratio of the proper and co-moving types of this quantity equals the scale factor. This quantity's modulus equals 5 times the log of this quantity minus 5. This quantity can be computed by taking the reciprocal of the apparent movement of an object in arc seconds. Recessional velocities. Michael.
Like distance.
10.
Nice.
One word out. Bonus 13 to Barrington. Hello. Are you ready to destroy some evil today? For 10 points each. The talking sword Nightblood appears in this author's novel Warbreaker. This author of the Stormlight Archive wrote 5 books in secret during quarantine, as you do.
Sanderson.
Shalon Devar's abilities in the Stormlight Archive may have been influenced by myths of Nensha from this island country. Kobo Abe's Woman in the Dunes follows a schoolteacher from this country's capital of Tokyo. Seth's son Valano was given a talking sword that is probably Nightblood after killing a holder of this position. A T.H. White novel is titled for a once in future holder of this position.
King of Atlas car final.
30.
Oh, good stuff. Go work. Stuff, guys. Let's get toss up.
I mean, it's bonus.
Say again?
Who wrote a bonus on Brandon Sanderson?
Me.
Wow.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You're so amazing.
You are the worst.
Well, you probably shouldn't say that to the person who controls the score sheet. Toss up 14. On this island, Edward Ayer's brutal suppression of a rebellion led by Paul Bogle was investigated by Rohan K.
Jamaica.
Power.
Holy base.
Really good buzz. Bonus 14 to Barrington. Santa Claus hands out wrapped Christmas gifts, including a box of lifesavers in this novel for 10 points each. Name this novel that includes the chess prodigy Waverly Jung and is titled for a group of women who play mahjong.
The Joy Luck Club.
The 4 mothers from the Joy Luck Club meet at the First Chinese Baptist Church in the state city of San Francisco.
California.
This Chinese-American author of the Joy Luck Club also wrote about Pearl and Winnie Louise' unstable relationship in The Kitchen God's Wife.
Tom.
30.
Oh my gosh, he cracked at the Fortnite though.
Toss up 15. One of the world's largest dugong populations inhabits this country's Shark Bay. A carnivore that has been endangered by DFTD is endemic to an island separated from this country's mainland by the Bass Strait. Denisio.
Australia.
Power.
Oh.
Bonus 15, Auburn. This composer prominently used the DSCH motif through many of his works for 10 points each.
Our answer is Shostakovich.
Shostakovich quoted the DSCH motif in his concerto in E-flat major for this instrument. That concerto was dedicated to Mstislav Rostropovich, a player of this instrument.
Rostropovich.
Oh, our answer is cello.
Shostakovich used the DSCH motif in every movement of his 8th work in this genre. This genre typically consists of 2 violins, a viola, and a cello.
Our answer is string quartet.
30. Score check after 15, please.
After 15 toss-ups, I have Auburn at 335 and Barrington at 305. 335,
335 to 305.
Yep.
Let's go.
Doable.
All right. Toss up 16. To avoid one form of this practice, one may take off another person's shoe and spit on the floor in the Halizah ritual, the walking form of this practice practiced by the Sinesio.
Marriage.
Power.
I was like blinking.
Bonus 16 to Auburn. This poet describes the winter garment of repentance fling in his poem, Come, Fill the Cup and in the Fire of Spring, for 10 points each. Name this poet who wrote a collection of quatrains where the speaker asks for a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou, the Rubaiyat.
Our answer is Khayyam.
The Rubaiyat was written in this language. This language was also used by Ferdowsi to write the Shahnameh, the national epic of Iran.
Our answer is Farsi.
Another Persian poet was Rumi, who wrote thousands of poems in this form in his Divan-e-Shams. This Arabic poet... What'd you say?
Our answer is couplets. That's wrong.
I have Ghazal, that is 20. Toss up 17. A common demonstration of this phenomenon uses it to measure the width of a strand of hair. Fraunhofer and Fresnel name the Sinesio.
Diffraction.
Power. Bonus 17. The speaker of one poem in this collection describes himself as being burnt by fire of lust and envy in I Am a Little World Made Cunningly for 10 points each. In this collection of 19 religious poems by John Donne that includes poems such as The Flea and Death Be Not Proud.
Our answer is Holy Sonnets.
In another of Donne's holy sonnets, the speaker asks a three-personed god to batter this object. A telltale one of these organs beats loudly under the floorboards in a short story by Edgar Allan Poe.
Our answer is Heart.
The speaker pleads, let us melt and make no noise in this poem from the Holy Sonnets that compares two lovers to the legs of a compass.
Our answer is A Valediction Forbidding Mourning.
30.
No.
Toss up 18. During the reign of this dynasty, an assassin tried to drop a giant metal cone on a ruler's carriage. Rohan K.
Jim.
Power.
Nice.
But he hit the wrong carriage. Bonus 18 to Barrington. 90% of this state's farm workers are of Mexican origin. For 10 points each, name the state whose San Joaquin Valley saw many Mexican laborers go on strike in 1933. The San Joaquin Valley is part of the state's productive Central Valley, which contains its capital, Sacramento.
California.
This World War II era program allowed Mexican laborers to work in states like California for short-term labor. Despite agreements otherwise, people in this program often faced pay deductions and unsafe working conditions.
Bracero.
This labor activist opposed the Bracero program for its exploitation of Mexican workers. With Dolores Huerta, this man co-founded the United Farm Workers, which conducted the Delano grape strike.
Chavez.
Okay.
30. Score check,
What was the
please.
first part?
What's that?
After 18 toss-ups, I have Auburn at 415 and Barrington at 350.
What was the
All right.
first part?
Wait, 415.
415, 350.
What was
Auburn
the
leans by
part of the
65.
bonus?
Toss up 19. In one poem, this author cautions, tread softly because you tread on my dreams. Senesio.
Yates.
Power.
Nice job.
Bonus 19. Answer the following about North American cryptids for 10 points each. Barry O'Connor claims that these creatures from Puerto Rican folklore were actually coyotes with scabies. The name of these creatures translates as goat sucker.
Our answer is Chupacabra.
Matt Moneymaker is a cryptozoologist who features on a show titled For Finding This Hairy Ape-like Cryptid Native to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. Our answer is Bigfoot.
Cryptids such as axe-handle hound are fearsome critters in the mythos of a people with this occupation. One man with this occupation created the Grand Canyon while dragging a giant axe.
Lumberjack,
Lumberjack.
yeah.
Our answer is Lumberjack.
30. And the final toss-up of this packet. In a Tondo painting by Sandro Botticelli, this figure writes the beginning of the Magnificat hymn. This figure sits on a throne in the front of Duccio's Maesta. Due to the Senesio.
Barry.
Power. Bonus 20. A quantity with this adjective in its name can be calculated as the partial derivative of free energy with respect to particle number for 10 points each. Name this adjective that describes a shift commonly measured relative to TMS. That quantity usually is given in parts per million and is used to interpret NMR data.
Shift. Why I know this? The shift. Why can't I think?
Answer.
Chemical direct.
Yes. TMS is composed of 4 methyl groups bonded to a central atom of this element with atomic symbol
Our answer is
Si.
silicon.
Solvents in NMR often have their hydrogen atoms replaced by this isotope. This heaviest stable isotope of hydrogen has a nucleus consisting of a proton and a neutron.
No, that's deuterium.
it's
Okay. Our answer is deuterium.
Correct, for 30. Final score.
At the end of the round, I will score 505 for Auburn and 350 for Barrington.
Good game.
Good luck, guys.